Hey everyone, Studfit here. We have another episode of The Rundown, and like the new normal, we have Tabor join us. Thank you, Tabor.
Glad to be here, Studfit, for the Sydney Tour. Excited to be with you again to talk about all the ins and outs of what this tour has to offer as we get closer and closer to the second anniversary. So excited to get into this with you.
Yeah, we're super close. Full transparency, I am in a hotel room in the middle of Nebraska. So for what it's worth, if you hear random doors closing behind me, that would be why, and that's why I have a different background. I don't have my fun T-shirt on, but we did not want to stop production, and we wanted to get this information in front of you. You know you've been waiting for it. We couldn't deprive you any longer. We have the city tour. We have another city tour, but a fun one. In fact, one with a boomerang. So we have a lot to cover, and some additional tidbits that we've added in here. Some Tabor tidbits. So we'll get jumping right into it. There's a little kangaroo pun there for you, Tabor. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I have a great number of people to thank. It is because of these people that we have the rundown, that we have the Kart Talk podcast. We really could not do it without these members. So I really just want to thank every single person who's named on here. We did have some new members. In fact, the new super studs, Frenzy fans. That's right. You've heard me mentioning them. If you haven't checked out their channel, definitely check them out. Frenzy fans, Frenzy girl, Frenzy guy is what they like to be called. But I'm so glad they've joined our super studs, and looking forward to hopefully having them on the podcast very soon. We also have, in celebration of Sydney, we have Roygo 888 Australia joining us as a stud member. You've probably seen him in as a member of other communities. Just such a nice guy, and it's obviously really cool to have him join during the Australia tour. We also had a couple not duds added, including good friends of mine, E.R. Curtis, E.R. Antilev, and thank you as always to Puffton for monitoring our Discord server, which can be tough to do. So I never want to breeze through that. I just want to thank everyone on this list. You guys make this possible. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, Tabor very graciously added what's going through his brain as he starts to look at all this data. Again, he's behind a desk for 5 to 6 to 7 hours, crunching these numbers, putting these all into an Excel database, and things, little red flags, little what we're calling tidbits, pop in front of him, and he just wanted to be able to put this out in front of you. I love it. I think it's phenomenal. But fun facts, tidbits, red flags, whatever you want to call it. But Tabor, I don't want to steal any of your thunder. Let's jump into this list. I think there's some really cool stuff that's happened here.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Whenever I start updating the sheet, I just kind of enter data, look at the data, analyze it a little bit, and a few things do pop up. And I wanted to. Sometimes I forget to mention this on the rundown or on Kart Live, so I wanted to make sure I kind of wrote those out, and I decided to add these in. So just to kind of get right into it, one of the first things that I think we all noticed whenever we opened this game is that Sydney Sprint 2, which is our new course, is prevalent throughout all the cups, but specifically it's throughout ranked. In the past, all the way up through the first 51 tours of the game, we've typically had a new course, one of those variants in week 1 and one of those variants in week 2. We just so happen to have 2 variants in week 1 and the other 2 variants in week 2. So this is the first time ever, and I scrambled back and looked at all the data. This is the first time ever we've had all 4 of the new course variants as part of ranked. We've often had 3 or 4 in a tour, but actually in a ranked cup is very different. So we've got Sydney Sprint 2, Sydney Sprint 2R, 2T, and 2RT. And so there's a lot of new top shelves, a lot of small top shelves available to us as a ranked course, because typically we have 1 new one, 2 old ones, which kind of make up the gap, and we try to do our best on some of those old courses, and then do what we can on the new course. But we've got, I think, some lower scores ahead of us for ranked winnings, as well as for possibly the ACR, just because we've got so many of these new ones. The other thing that I think we also all noticed last tour as well is that the Comet Cup, which showed up, is the first time that Nintendo broke precedent. Is typically the Kamek Cup has a permanent high-end driver, and that's what that cup is named after. There was no Kamek that was a permanent high-end driver, but we thought, well, maybe because it's a spotlight, maybe it'll become a permanent next tour. And Studfit kind of called this out a little bit. He thought that Kamek would eventually become a permanent high-end, and it still might, but it's not this tour at all. And so Kamek Cup showed back up. First time, again, we've had a cup that has not been part of a permanent high-end item. Also, we've had, as we'll see in the next couple slides, is that we have 6 new items this tour. Over the last, I think, 20 tours, we've had, or last 10 tours, I'm sorry, we've only had 2 or maybe 3 or 4 if we're lucky. We actually have 6 new items, which is a first since the Ninja Tour in April. The other thing that I meant to mention last tour, or last rundown, that I forgot, and I guess I can mention again, is that Ice Dozer, which was a commemorative cart 2 tours ago, which I believe was the Frost Tour, has, it showed up as a commemorative cart. It was a little pack that you could buy. And then we did not have any buffs on Ice Dozer last tour, and then we don't actually have any buffs again. And this is really unheard of for a brand new item to just be introduced and then not be recognized at all with any new courses added to it. So I thought that was kind of a little bit of an oddity. Birdo Black, congratulations to Birdo Black. It's the first item in the game to actually reach 30 top shelf courses. We've had a few of them flirting with that 28, and Birdo Black was the first one to go 29, and they added another one to it again, so it actually has 30 top shelf courses, which is crazy. We're starting to see to where it's breaking that threshold for the first time, so it's only a matter of time before more items follow. One other little interesting thing, and I didn't start tracking middle shelf courses and changes to that until last tour, when someone asked about boombox potential and which middle shelf items, coin box drivers, have a middle shelf with a top shelf boomerang driver. So I started tracking those with just the coin box items only, and we did have a few that were added. Kamek had 1 middle shelf added. Mario Tuxedo had 3, and Peach Vacation had 2. So again, that's going to just continue to expand on those boomerang drivers that could possibly benefit from them being as a bot on that course. And finally, just
now hold on. One thing I want to add is all 6 of those tracks are city tracks.
All 6 of those tracks are city tracks.
So if you do devalue city tracks, just putting that out there is that don't necessarily rush to give Ninja a lot of credit for that. It is nice that that could be possible, but on city tracks, and I know it might even be good for us to note if those middle shelves, each all 6 of those have a boomerang driver, whether it be the specific Kangaroo that we have or Shy Guy Ninja, but something we'll be kind of keeping tabs on as we go forward.
Yep, for sure. I mean, that's exactly correct, which we'll just have to map out to see if they how those match up with our boomerangs. One of the things that I typically talk about whenever we talk about buffs is some of the kind of blast from the past items that were given some value that we thought were long forgot about. And some of the oldest buff items that did get a buff this tour was Mario Santa. We hadn't seen any buff on Mario Santa for 20 tours, and he finally got one this tour. Again, it's a city track, but he was given a tour and got a little bit of recognition there. Pirate Sushi Racer hadn't seen any kind of buff for 16 tours, and it finally got some, as well as Chocolate Banana Crepe. That's actually the oldest glider, which isn't too bad. A lot of the newer gliders ended up getting buffs, and not any of the older ones. But Chocolate Banana Crepe is the oldest one that hadn't seen a buff in 7 tours. So these are just a few of the tidbits. I'll try to collect more of these as we continue to go forward and talk these out. But I just thought a lot of these were some interesting things to take note and to make sure I mention.
Awesome, Tabor. Fantastic facts there. I think the community really appreciates that, so we wanted to include that very early in the video. But we cannot move forward without talking about this Yoshi Kangaroo. I still don't think we have a fun name for him. I've heard Kangaroo Yoshi, or different variations there. I think Tabor, you had a name for this tour. I think it was the Reskin Tour.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what's going on here. We've got Sydney Tour, which I put this out on Discord. Is I don't know why they rename tours the same name 2 times in a row. It messes me up on the spreadsheet because I try to make sure everything's different. So typically in the past I've said, Trick Tour 2020, Trick Tour 2021. I can at least put a year with it, but we had Sydney Tour 5 months ago in April. So I can't even do that. So I'm having to make it all weird. But they could have named it so many different things. They could have named it, Down Under Tour. They could have named it Sydney Tour or Color Tour, because that's really what a lot of things that's happening here. They're just recoloring a lot of things. But yeah, I think Reskin Tour is a really good name for this tour, just because we have a reskin. We have 2 reskins of Yoshi. We have a reskin of the Cat Cruiser. We've got a reskin of the Surf Master. We've just got all these different variations. We do have one new original item, which is exciting to see. We'll see that on the next slide, but it's just, this is a reskin tour. That's pretty much what we need to call it.
Yeah, man, if Nintendo's doing anything, it's to make your life more confusing, Tabor. I'm thoroughly committed to believing that. I think from this perspective, we have a boomerang driver. It's to me, you heard me on Kart Talk. It's what I was expecting. I wasn't the only one. I mean, they whiffed, in my opinion, not giving Koala the boomerang, but I do think that they wanted us to get excited about boomerang before they started handing it out like candy. So, I think that's why they wanted Ninja to jump into the top 10 and hold down that number 1 spot. I really felt like Nintendo wanted to allow us to be able to see the benefit of boomerang before they released it. Otherwise, I don't know why they didn't give it to Koala, and that's why it made sense for them to give it to this Yoshi. And I think it's cool that they made him a kangaroo. I think that's fun. It is cool that they gave him the boxing gloves and the hat. Just a very cool looking driver. But I think the biggest question is about the boomerang. Night Rosso asked, do you think that all the high-end boomerang drivers will go on to be valuable, like coin boxers, or will some be not that great, like Lucky 7? And I think we've seen some Lucky 7 drivers obviously be really high on our list, but then we've also seen them, for whatever reason, Nintendo kind of snub. And some examples would be my boy Party Time Lakitu, which happens to be in rank this week, so it's maybe not great timing. But he's gone a long time without really being favored, and it's you kind of saw that with Painter Luigi. I think they were calling him Meme Luigi because he just seemed to get really bad buffs, and you don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but I do think that they want us to appreciate new skills and different skills, which I understand. I like that too, but this summer has been absolutely insane. It's been back to back great skills. I mean, if you've been fighting to save your tickets, they have made it the most difficult time that I remember in this game to be able to save tickets. Even with some of the special pipes, having coin boxers, having Lucky 7 drivers in those, and now we have a great glider pipe. So I don't know if we can really predict that this driver will be better than any other. I think that my prediction is I could see this kangaroo getting a lot of overlap with Peach Happy, and it's one of the decisions I had to take this week is which one that I want to put tickets in for ranked. But I because I could see the Cheap Islands having this kangaroo, and that's kind of where Peach Happy got some good buffs. Etidal asks, Lucky 7, Coinbox, Boomerang, what is it Nintendo up to? What do you think is coming next? And I think that question resonates for those of us who are looking at the anniversary and saying, what could they possibly give us that would be better than what they've been giving us here lately? And I think they'll give us some fun stuff, good packs, good pipes, good. I think they'll give us good token items, but I mean, even the token items in this tour are phenomenal. I don't know how they'll top, other than just giving us more free stuff. I could see a gold character, maybe a gold Nabbit or a gold Lakitu coming up in that anniversary with, I don't know what great skill, could be a coin box, but man, we've just had so many great skills. It's been really, really hard to keep up. I would hate to be someone like you, Tabor, who's really trying to save the rubies and not getting packs, etc. But talk to me a little bit about this pipe. As you opened up your app, as you saw Boomerang Driver, what were some of your thoughts? And did you end up pulling on this pipe?
So my initial thought was that, and there was the whole controversy about this driver being leaked beforehand on Discord with the badges that came out and everything, and that's a whole nother box of worms. We can talk more about that at length on Kart Talk. But this is Kangaroo Yoshi, and I know you said there wasn't a great nickname for him yet. I think I'm just gonna call him Bounce for Aussie Kart's sake.
I like
for
it.
Aussie Kart's sake, because it's exactly what I think it fits better than anything else. So yeah, Boomerang, I kind of thought that was going to happen too, and I think Boomerang is starting to become, it's still in its infancy a little bit, and people are starting to really recognize its skill and how valuable it can be, but its value is still conditional. Its value is conditioned on if you have some coin boxers in your race, also if it's a course that has a lot of coins that are grouped together on the course, so it's very situational. Whereas a coin box is a coin box no matter where you go. So there's still a little bit of a one-up that a coin box has compared to a Boomerang or Lucky 7 or things like that. With that being said, of course you want to pull for him. Of course you want to be able to get him. I've stayed away from this pipe so far. I actually have a top shelf on everything in week 1, so I'm good there, and I don't usually try to jump too early on things. I wait till things calm down a little bit so I can not do it. I'm not a real great person when it comes to impulse pulls. I usually try to wait things out and sit on it. I didn't do that with Kamek because Kamek was a little bit different. I needed him a lot with how valuable he was in ranked, but with this one I've just held tight. The one thing I did notice is that, and I always think it's strange with the double-decker bus. This was the regular double-decker bus was released with Waluigi Bus Driver in the London tour way back, one of the early tours, and then this is a reskin of the green double-decker. And I always think, especially when we talked about hitbox size and how that relates to the game, I always feel like a bus should be huge, should have a huge hitbox, but it's really small compared to some of the other ones that we have in this game. So it's such a tiny little cart that you're driving. And then I thought it was also strange that they didn't put in they have 2 new gliders in this game, and neither of them are in this pipe. They went back to one of the old values of the Sunset Balloons. So I don't know. I have some decisions I have to make. I still want to go into the next tour with 450 rubies just in case something's big that I desperately need. I don't know if this is a character that I desperately need, or it's not a great odds of pulling it and getting it within the top, however many items, but I think I'm going to wait on this. So I'm not sure what's going to happen as we push forward. I do know that the green bus, I'm not too worried about that. If I get that or not get that, I don't think it's going to break me with this game, but Kangaroo Yoshi or bounces, I should say. I think it's going to have some value, but again, it's all situational, so we'll just have to see what happens on that.
Yeah, some takeaways from my viewpoint is, I've been taking some pull videos just because of how epic my Kamek pulls were, and I didn't have a record. I've been kicking myself, so I've been recording my pulls and just giving it, just allowing my members to see it, and had a pretty epic one with him. I got him pretty early, I think, on my second 10 pull.
Great.
Very fortunate, was glad, and I even said in that video I'm ready to take him to level 6. I had a pretty good shop in getting a lot of high-end driver tickets. Didn't have, for some reason, I think like 1 cart and 1 glider, but maybe even 0 gliders, and I just literally only got drivers. So I'm not complaining, and I wanted to take him, but I looked at his tracks, and I had Painter Luigi. I took him to level 7, and had him single capped, and I had enough tickets to be able to, I think 6 tickets, so I could have double uncapped him, taken him to 6, but I decided to put the tickets into Peach Happy, and The reason being is, from my perspective, kind of similar to what you said, is for the boomerang, it's really an awesome skill for ranked, assuming that the track is good and assuming that there are coin box drivers on that middle shelf. But for all cup ranking, I just found myself not grinding it at all for the boom box. I would use Shy Guy Ninja and get a good maybe boomerang, like a boomerang frenzy without the boom box and a coin, and feeling pretty content. But I just didn't have the time to put into all cup ranking getting that boom box. But knowing that if you are going for all cup ranking, having that window open and to be able to potentially get more points, I think that is really nice. If you have the time and you really want to get the badge, I don't think we can move on without addressing the fact that this Kangaroo Tour for all cup ranking was absolutely bonkers. Everyone went for it. We had people going, triple uncapping things, like triple uncapping all of Kamek's set and going for all cup ranking, and we saw Sammy D go for the top 100. Unfortunately, just barely came up close. Just fell short, just barely. But I mean, that was absolutely insane to me, and I found myself not grinding boomerang. And I think though that this tour for all cup ranking, as we're kind of just hearing the preliminary conversation, I think this is a tour that most people are not going to go for. One, they're burnt out from last tour. Two, we have Sydney. Most city tours, people don't always have the top shelf. They're usually obscure, and so you don't always have people going for that top 100. But now you also have basically like two city tours in one, because you have the regular cities, the original Sydney tracks, as well as also the Sydney 2. So just a lot of city tracks in there with obscure high top shelf there. So interesting. We had a crazy all cup ranking. I just want to kind of share that experience. For me, boomerang is still below coin box. Not far. It is above Lucky 7 in my opinion. But I think for all cup ranking, man, I think actually Lucky 7, might be one of the top skills, because probably right there above boomerang, but below coin box still. Just because you can get that Lucky 7 coin and move on, and you're on to the next track. And you know how it is. If you watch anyone stream all cup ranking, it's moving on and trying to get to that next. So what was really, really awesome about the Kangaroo Tour was that you saw so many people caring about all cup ranking, which for me is, I think, the most fun part of this game. And it was cool to see what we consider, casual dolphin or shark, whales, whatever you want to call them, to actually go for this top 100. It's been fun to see. I saw Frenzy Grinds get top 100. I saw a lot of people that hadn't gotten top 100 before and get it. So congratulations to those who did and got that badge. But again, for me, that's just fun part of the game. So I could not move on without talking about that. But let's get back down under. We have some new items. We have as Tabor alluded to, 6, which is a lot. Typically we've been enjoying just having 1 or 2, but in this case we have a lot. Now, of course, Pink Yoshi, hopefully you're getting for doing well in ranked, but the others are all over the board, and I think Tabor nailed it. This is the Reskin Tour. Outside of the ship's wheel, we have just basically reskinned items of other items we have, which the community is not always fond of, kind of boring reskins. I will say, this Black Cat Cruiser, you've probably seen these week 2 random carts that are mixed in with old items, seem to be much, much more valuable. I'm thinking Romby Runner, I'm thinking Silver King, and now we have Black Cat Cruiser. That Nintendo loves black things, so it's so weird to say, but I actually think that the Black Cat Cruiser could be the most valuable of those cards, those week 2 cards that I just mentioned. So really, really interesting there, just because you think about Black Yoshi, you think about Black Birdo, you think about the Black Turbo Birdo, you think about the Black Raid Sail. I mean, you can name 100 other items, dozen other items that have black in them that have been valuable. So I see this one could spike. I don't want it to. I think the Cat Cruiser looks silly, but in addition to that, they didn't really give the original Cat Cruiser very much love. So for what it's worth. Tabor, what are your thoughts on some of these initial items for these new featured items?
As you can see, the red on these are all city courses, and there's a lot of city courses added in, which again makes sense because we have, I think, 7 different city courses in this tour, the 4 Sydney Sprint 2s and then 3 Sydney Sprint 1s. And I do need to applaud Nintendo. They counted right. They went Sydney Sprint 1, and then this time they went Sydney Sprint 2. So
This time.
this time. So hopefully with the counting will continue the right way. But, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm always really pessimistic about items that are released during city tours just because of the value takes a giant hit right off the bat. And again, who knows what's on the threshold with this update that supposedly is coming, as well as the anniversary tour, how things might change with cities maybe becoming more regular. That's pure speculation. But, you know, who knows? But right now, you know, in the algorithm that I use, city tours are included, but they're a very low percentage overall. So it does kind of take a hit on them a little bit. So we'll just have to see how it pans out. But yeah, I mean, colors all over the place with pink and silver and black and green. But Ship's Wheel is the original one, which looking at the video on YouTube, Ship's Wheel does look pretty cool whenever it's being used, or it's animated a little bit. It kind of turns on you as you glide. So it's pretty neat. But you know, we'll just have to see what's going on with these 6. It's pretty exciting though to have a new boomerang driver. I know that Shy Guy Ninja, everybody put all their marbles on him for a while, but now they're going to have to kind of decide between the 2. And I think at this point, only Giant Banana is the only one that has one high end. I think that's the only one that's left at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I foresee them giving Giant Banana at some point in time to a driver. Could be the anniversary. I think that would be great. I think I like having these new items. I think a lot of people were burnt out on Coinbox. Although Coinbox is still king, it is nice to see these new skills. I think in general for this Yoshi Kangaroo, it's gonna be a get it and save it. I don't, and not that you have that many tickets after last tour with the Connect tour. Most of you probably don't have an option to throw a lot of tickets and take it to 6 or take it to 7, but it's one of those you get it and you stash it. Other than that,
exactly
the other what's that?
That's exactly what happened with Shy Guy Ninja. Shy Guy Ninja was pretty under the radar for a long time, and then boom, he boosted in value and he became really valuable. So it'll probably be the same thing that happens here.
100%. Moving into the non-spotlights, we do have a new driver in here. We have a second Yoshi, a white Yoshi, which you probably pulled in the special pipe a couple months back. But it now makes for, in addition to the as a permanent item, it's actually kind of interesting. It's 15 kind of a, as you see there, kind of fills in that one space. I don't know. White Yoshi has been a pretty valuable driver here recently. Nothing to write home about just because his skill is above average, but not great. I don't know. I think it's a nice addition. It looks like he's, I believe, the only triple mushroom one on that list. So for what it's worth, I don't know if we'll see a white Yoshi or black Yoshi cup, as we've seen with some of the permanent items. But it's fun to have them added in there. When they add new items, it's always a pleasant surprise. And then for the carts, we also have the Iron Cucumber, the official city carts of Mario Kart Tour. It has a lot of cities, and that's kind of always been the same. I remember way back, I think it was the Berlin Tour. It was in like a 40-pack by itself with some point tickets, and I remember all of us were shaking our head. Well, now it's permanently in these pipes. So that's looking back, I think that pack was one of the most undervalued packs you could have got. As for the gliders, no change there, which was interesting compared to the drivers and carts. But now we get to the week 2 pipe, and we kind of alluded to the Black Cat Cruiser in there. But we have a lot of other items that have been around for a while, which is pretty common. I do think this trend is interesting that they have like this one new cart, and we already have as many carts, but it makes it almost irresistible because Nintendo keeps giving so much value to these carts, which we'll get to here in a little bit when it comes to the Silver King as well as also the Rumby Runner, which you already know its value. But Tabor, what do you think about this week 2 pipe?
Another 9%. It's just continuing to follow the same category. 6% week 1, 9% week 2. A little bit better odds, but again, these are the repeat items. I do know that Cat Toad is more valuable than Cat Peach, so there's some value there, especially when you start looking at some ranked or some ACR where you could use Cat Toad. It really comes in handy sometimes. But yeah, Black Cat Cruiser, they just kind of threw that in to for those people that wanted to be like, I'm good, I'm gonna pass. Then you kind of have to stop a little bit and think about whether you want to get this new item, especially with how these week 2 cards tend to increase in value, like you already alluded to. One thing I do want to point out is that Surf Master is one of the gliders, one of the spotlight gliders here, and it's also a Gold Pass gift, which is interesting. They're pretty much giving it away. I don't want to say for free because Gold Pass does cost some money, but they're giving it away in a way. They're giving it away so that you can get it automatically instead of having to pull for it. And so that's kind of an interesting thing. But I do know some other ones are, Baby Mario Koala is kind of one of those trifecta drivers that are regularly in a new course top shelf. So there's some allure there. Black Toby and Balloons has really been shooting up lately in terms of value. So again, there's some allure there. So I mean, there's definitely some things on here that are worth looking at. Maybe some YOLO 10 pulls if you have the rubies to spare. But again, we still know that some big things are coming up with Update, as well as Anniversary Tour. And kind of going back to what you talked about, what are they gonna do with Anniversary Tour that's gonna just kind of improve on what they've already done so far with the skills. Typically, what I've been seeing is, and they will throw in somebody new there, something new there sometimes, but sometimes Anniversary is just a time for them to be generous with coins, with rubies, with pipes that are just crazy odds. But typically in those pipes are a lot of the old things. There's not a lot of new stuff in there. Like the last time, I think with the first Anniversary Tour, or was it the 1.5? I can't remember, but they stocked the one of the pipes with just Mario alts all over the place, and it had good odds to be able to get that, but it was just kind of just this hodgepodge of Mario alts. So who knows what they're going to do, but I just think they're going to be more generous than anything, and we'll just have to see if they end up supplying us with something new, a new skill, a new driver, a new original character, maybe. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, nothing more really to add to that. It's an interesting pipe, but I'm probably not going to be pulling on it. And now I said that for last tour's week 2 pipe, and I ended up pulling for that Silver King. I had to go all the way to the bottom, but it is what it is. I really do believe I have to start saving for this anniversary that's coming up. However, this Ocean Glider pipe looks pretty tempting. I think I will be pulling on this a little bit. Probably just enough to get the Spotlight Glider, which is that ship's wheel that we've been talking about. Now, it's a 50 pipe. There is that Spotlight new glider, which I think is going to be one you want 100%. But for the non-Spotlights, it's interesting, right? So we have, obviously, some decent value. If you look at the 3 sales, obviously Black Great Sail is the number 1 glider in the game and still is. Star Great Sail, number 6 glider in the game. It's obviously a beautiful glider and valuable when it comes to coverage and etc. The Great Sail, by far the least valuable of those sails. And then when you look at the Manta gliders, it's kind of the reverse order. You see the Silver Manta glider being the most valuable at number 3. You see the Polka Dot looks like number 60 there. And then regular Manta glider at 33. So some really good valuable gliders if you think about Great Sail, the Black Great Sail, the Starry Great Sail, and the Silver Manta glider, not the regular Great Sail. So I don't know. As I'm looking, Tabor, I know you looked at some past pipes that were just all gliders, and they were predominantly like 30 items. My guess is that they're going to make it have 5 total gliders in this pipe, 1 spotlight and 4 non-spotlights. But I think you were thinking otherwise, Tabor. Tell me a little bit about what you think about this pipe, and will you be pulling?
Well, I mean, looking at the trends, what you say fits, because all of the 30 pipes that the gliders have been in have been 10% odds, which means they've given out 3 out of the 30 at 10%. So if they end up giving 5 out of the 50 overall high ends in this pipe, then that would also be 10%. So maybe that's true. It's just that most 50s aren't usually that generous. Most 50s are right at 8%. So, I could see it going either way, with either 1 spotlight and 3 non-spotlights, or 1 spotlight and 4 non-spotlights. I'm kind of leaning more toward 3 for a total of 4 for 8%, but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. I do know that, again, like you said, I think the ship's wheel is first off, it's the only original item in this whole tour. It's not a reskin, so there's some allure that way. They really should have called it the brown wheel, just to stick with the colors, or maybe Yoshi Kangaroo's ship's wheel, just to give some possessive to it.
You're still bitter about that Mech Zoom room, aren't you?
Sorry, I am bitter. But yeah, I mean, there's some allure. Myself personally, I only have 2 of these items. I've got the black grade sail and the regular grade sail, and the other 5 I don't have. So there's some. I've got a choice to make, whether I want to go in for Yoshi Kangaroo or Bounce, whether I want to go into the special pipe, or whether I want to go into pipe 2. I know pipe 2 is not very exciting, but I'm missing a top shelf Kart in week 2, so the Black Cat Cruiser would help me on that, but I don't want to have to go to the very bottom of that pipe. So, and I probably only have 1 or max of 2 10 pulls that I can spend this tour to save my ruby. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I just won't pull it all and I'll just save. I can't decide, so I'll just save it and go into the next tour. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it really tempting, especially if it is for non-spotlights. It's overall a pretty good pipe. You rarely see these gliders in a pipe. When they are in there, though, you see a lot of people, a lot of the whales go pretty bonkers. I know a number of them willing to spend thousands of rubies because glider tickets are very rare in the shop. And that's really, really important, because being able to take these things to a high level, especially when you have the number 1 glider in the game, being able to take that to a level 6, level 7 is crucial. Of course, you got the combo time in there as well. I just think that this is a great pipe, definitely worth pulling on if you have that luxury. But I understand many of you probably don't. So there is this anniversary coming up, and I think it would be worth saving. Just wanted to touch on that. But overall, pretty decent pipe there. As for the packs, we have some interesting packs. For me, I like all these items because I don't have any of them at 7. So they're always intriguing to me. You see this, first off, I'll kind of start with this silver Surfmaster, I believe. Yep. Nintendo loves black items. Right below that are silver items. They seem to be getting a really good, decent buffs, above average buffs. We'll put it that way. But nothing can top those black items when it comes to coverage, when it comes to value, etc. But silver items, I think about the silver star chute and some other items that are silver, silver manta glider, etc. I do think that this is a good stud pack for this silver Surfmaster, but I think you're gonna have to. I just don't. It's a little risky because anytime you have new items, you don't know what the value is going to be. There's a lot of gliders coming out in this special pipe. I don't know. It's going to be a wait and see, but I think it's. If I had to predict, I think it will be a stud one day. We'll have to see. I don't really like having as many of these Surfmasters that we already have, and we just don't need another reskin when they haven't even really given good buffs to the original. So that's the only. But maybe we can see that as a good sign. Usually, what I do is I like to see the item that it was reskinned from and see, was that one buffed, and if no, maybe this reskin could see that buff or could be kind of the more valuable. Think about like the example we just saw. It was the Great Sail, not as valuable. Black Great Sail, very valuable. The Starry Great Sail, very valuable. So I don't know. To me, I could see this one being pretty valuable, but it could be a little risky. Versus this white Yoshi, obviously it's in a pipe. This Kart, though, both of them pretty valuable. Many of you probably already got it to some extent in that special pipe. I know I did think one pull just to get the items at one, but I think overall it's a pretty stud pack compared to the week 2. I don't like either one of these items. I don't understand the random cat stuff that we see every couple tours. It's just so random. Not a big fan of the calico. I know it was a big fan of a couple people, and it was in the top 10 for a little bit. I don't know, just not a big fan of it in general. And then Cat Peach and this Cat Cruiser. You probably have both of these, whether it be from a past pack or from getting it in. I think the Cat Cruiser was in just a Gold Pass award or something like, or a commemorative item or something. And then you have Cat Peach, which is in a 100 pipe. So definitely a dud pack there. As for the other choices you have to make when it comes to premium challenge high end, this Black Yoshi, it's been a very valuable driver, but its time is beginning to sunset. It's still retained a lot of its value. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, its glory days were about this time last year, and although it's still holding on to some value, it's just a matter of time before they take something away with this with bounce, or take something away from Painter Luigi, Peach Happy, whatever it might be. I mean, there's so many great skilled drivers right now that are waiting to take Black Yoshi's tracks there. So overall, I'd say if you want the rubies, if you need the rubies to be able to pull on some of these great pipes, go for it. But this high end that comes with it is not one that I would be going out of my way to try to get. As for this tier shop, Tropical Glider, not the best. It had a lot of great coverage, and you'll notice there are times where things have a great number of tracks, but aren't in our top 10. Or I was kind of talking to Tabor. We had some discussions about Black Birdo, about some of these drivers with not great skills. And, we saw I think it was Gold Dry Bowser. For a while there had the most tracks, I think with like 26 or 27 back this time last year. And I think we were all expecting it to get in the top 10. And I think it was briefly in the top 10, never outside, not like never number 1, even though it had the most coverage. And that's because partly of the skill, but then partly also because of what tracks it had or how involved it was in ranked. And so from this perspective, the Tropical Glider does have a lot of tracks. It's had a lot of tracks for a long period of time, but due to its skill, due to how often it's been ranked, based on what tracks it actually has at top shelf, it never really catapulted too high into our top 10. So it is a dud to me. If you want to save the coins, feel free, especially now that you might start having coins that you are needing coins to be able to pull stuff and get stuff out of your tier shop and daily selects. Tabor, what are your thoughts on these packs? Anything that jumps out at you?
I have nothing to add.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we'll jump right into the buff drivers because a lot of drivers saw buffs. We'll talk about these 4 that got 3 buffs. First of all, Peach Happy. She's, I think, out of all the between her and Painter Luigi, she seemed to be getting a much better buffs, and I think the more valuable. But obviously, Painter Luigi now has been finally getting some love. But Peach Happy, man, she's gotten the right tracks at the right time. It's interesting that obviously she got these 2 Sydney tracks, but then I think this is Donut Plains 2T that she got there. You have Quebec, obviously came out last tour. Got 2 city buffs there, but then also Chocolate Island 2RT. You got Daisy Swimwear. She got 3 tracks there. She's up to 16 non-city tracks, 5 cities though. That's a lot. Almost as many as that Peach Happy. Surprising. She's got 6 cities already. That does seem to be a lot, but not as many as as Mario Baseball with 8 non-city tracks, 8 city tracks. That is a lot. He's finally getting some buffs though. It took him a while, but I'm hoping they don't do him bad like they did with Mario Sunshine. Just giving him so many cities. 8 cities is a lot of cities to have. I mean, it's almost half of his cities. crazy there. But obviously, you like to see Kamek get that Chocolate Island 2RT. Peach Happy, like I said, I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, had to decide between Bounce and Peach Happy. Went Peach Happy. Very happy about my move. As for the drivers who got 2 buffs, you got Baby Mario Koala. He's up to 23 non-city tracks, 4 cities. Got Builder Toadette with 20 non-city tracks, 5 cities. We just alluded to him. Luigi Painter, up to 19 non-cities, 6 city tracks, with Waluigi Pinball R being the one that stands out there. Penguin Mario, the one driver you see on this list who did not get a city buff. I wonder if that is our prediction that he's going to be super valuable as one of the few drivers with terrible skills that we saw this summer, alongside only, I think, Daisy Swimwear. He has no cities. He came out unscathed through the city buffings. He now has 13 non-city tracks. Good for him. I mean, I got him because I knew that he was going to be valuable just to spite us. He's, he could be the next Cat Toad, or Pauline Fire, and all these garbage skill drivers. He could see some. He could be seeing all the buffs we wish Tuxedo Mario was getting, and that's so sad. And we'll get to that here in a second. White Yoshi saw two buffs there, up to 20 non-city tracks, 9 cities. That is a lot. But he is number 6 on our list. He jumped up the most of all our top 10 drivers. You saw Berto Black finally break our top 15. You've been wondering when it was going to happen. It finally happened for her. She's up to 22 non-city tracks, 8 cities, as we alluded to before. The first driver to get 30 total tracks. You got Bowser Pirate with 17 non-city tracks, 5 city tracks. Baby Rosalina Detective, up to 14 cities and 14 non-cities. That is half of her tracks being cities. That's crazy. If we start seeing more cities involved, she's going to continue to. We might have to readjust that, and she would see the biggest buff there. Cat Peach at 18 non-city tracks, 6 cities there. Cat Toad there, 18 non-city tracks, 9 cities. Number 11 on our list. He's been finally getting up there. Mario Santa, interesting there. 14 non-city tracks, 3 city tracks, for a total of 17. Talking about 17, we have Mario Swimwear with 17 non-cities. That's more. Same amount of non-city tracks as Bowser's Santa Mario has in total tracks. Kind of interesting there. And then, oh man, the elephant in the room. Toilet Paper Mario Tuxedo, 17 non-city tracks, 5 cities. It is nice that he only has 5 cities, but man, he has not seen the good buffs yet. We'll see if he can. There's one more round of buffing before. My fate will be sealed to have to wear the Bowser Santa garb in replacement for the bet that we made with Frenzy fans. It'll be exciting to see how that ends up turning out. But guys, Nintendo is going out of their way to not give Mario Tuxedo any good buffs. It is perplexing to me. At first it was funny. It is not funny anymore. It's kind of sick, to be honest with you. It's disgusting. I don't know how. This is an official rant. It is actually not funny anymore. It is making me angry. It is very frustrating. I know I'm not the only one. It is to the point where this is disturbing, and I think Nintendo. I don't know what their plan is for him long term. I mean, the fact that he only has 22 total tracks, I can see them continue to give him buffs, but I mean, I don't understand why they would take such an awesome looking Mario driver and Coinbox driver and not give him any good buffs, and basically give him the most garbage buffs in the whole entire world. It's perplexing. I don't get it, and they're going out of their way to do this. So, man, only time will tell what this is. I know Frenzy Fan, I was going back and forth. We do every tour just because of the nature of our bet. Their hypothesis was that maybe people are that are playing the game and maybe playing it for maybe a month or two and quitting. They might be they might only be pulling on Mario's because they don't need. I mean, they could care less about a Yoshi, bounce Kangaroo, but they really want Mario alts, and they're going to pull on it, and then they're likely going to quit the game, and maybe they just don't want to give that person, too many crazy buffs, but give them the buffs of the tracks that we've all seen many times. I don't know if I believe that. I think it would actually have the reverse effect. I feel like if someone really wanted a Mario alt, and they would want to keep them for longer than 2 months, I would buff Mario drivers more. But it does seem like the trend that we are having is that they don't like the buffing Marios as much as other drivers. That seems to be, regardless of this bet, that does seem something that seems to be true. All right, there we go. Taking a step down off my soapbox. Peach Explorer up to 26 non-city tracks, only 3 cities, and I think that's extremely telling, and that's probably why she's number 7 on our list. Peach Halloween up to 20 non-city tracks, 5 cities. You have Toadette Explorer with 21 non-city tracks, 2 cities, and then Wario Cowboy, 15 non-city tracks, 3 city tracks, and then Blue Koopa Free Running up to 12 non-city tracks, 3 cities. Tabor, it's been a while since we heard from you. I apologize. What are your thoughts on the drivers that got buffed?
Some notables. I'm really looking forward to, first off, kind of a tangent, looking forward to Kevin Garrett's video that he's making about some patterns that he's been seeing about when certain items after they debut end up getting the most value, or when they start taking off. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think one of the things that he had kind of predicted was the 5th tour out from when an item is released is when they really start taking off, and that would be Daisy Swimwear's time, or I'm sorry, is it Peach Hoppy? Might be Peach Hoppy. I can't remember which one it is, but they're both on the top there with 3. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, again, they both got city courses, so I'm not sure what that'll do. It's kind of disheartening to see Kamek. Again, we were all excited about Kamek last tour, and then when a city tour was announced, that kind of dropped a little bit for me, just because I knew that he was going to get some city buffs. So we'll just have to see what happens from here on out. But we got 2. It has a total of 12, with 2 of those being cities. So we'll see. One of the things that I had mentioned during my tidbits slide was that, Black Birdo got 30, which is exciting. But if you'll notice, right on the heels of her is White Yoshi, who has a total of 29. And Peach Explorer also has a total of 29. So they are really close, and probably between the 2, actually, I don't think I can guess about which one of those 2 would break 30 the first, because they seemed, White Yoshi's really been taking off recently, but Nintendo seems to really like Peach Explorer as well. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But they're right on the heels, and also notice that they are number 6 and number 7, so they're starting to move up as well. But I feel for you. Last couple tours, I've been seeing what they've done to Mario Tuxedo, and I'm just like, man, poor Studfit. He's gonna end up losing this bet. It's not over yet. We'll see what happens with how Nintendo is. Was it before the anniversary tour? Was that the deadline?
It was before the anniversary date, which was the 22nd of September. So
the anniversary date. Okay. So you've got pretty much one more tour left. So
I mean, I'm probably gonna lose the bet. I mean, that's and it's been 100% at the hands of Nintendo. So thanks, Nintendo. Appreciate that.
There's always some theories that they actually they pay some people just to simply go and watch random YouTube creator videos, and then see what they do.
I'm not that narcissistic, but I appreciate that Dave, that Nintendo watches. I mean, I can see that happening. I do think that they are trolling all of us who, same way with Kamek. I mean, I hope they don't do Kamek dirty as they've done with Mario Tuxedo. I don't think they will, because they've really went all out, giving him his own tour, giving him his own cup. They've gone out of his way to make him feel very special in this community. Whereas Mario Tuxedo, they've basically been turning into a toilet bowl, taking dumps on them every week. So yeah, man, I don't get it either. I don't know how to explain it. Anything else you want to add other than putting salt in my wound?
No, you need a nap. I know that.
Oh, I could use a lot more than that. All right, moving on to who got buffed for the carts. Take us away, Tabor.
Yeah, so a lot of cards to look at here. Either 3, 2, or 1. The Mario baseball carts ended up getting some love this tour. Cleanup hitter and pinch hitter both got 3. It's not surprising that when I first saw that cleanup hitter got 3, because that is the pipe locked one, whereas pinch hitter was the one that was more available to the masses. And so I kind of saw that when I saw the pipe lock one get 3 buffs, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. But then I saw the pinch hitter one too, so that was a little surprising. But obviously the pinch hitter does have a lot more city courses than cleanup hitter does. Silver King is kind of the designated as the chosen one by so many people, it being the next Wild Black, or the next Rose Queen, or the next Ramby Rider, or Ramby Runner, sorry, or whichever one you want to call it. So we'll just have to see, but obviously it started off well with getting 3 buffs and only one of them being a city, so that's obviously not bad at all. And then Kamek Zoom Broom also got 3 buffs. Only one of those was a city, so right on the heels of the Silver King, kind of holding pace right now. So we'll just have to see what happened with those two. Dark Hop Rod, also one of the commemorative one that people just started falling in love with right away. Did get 2 buffs. Now has 13 non-city with 3 cities. Jet Cruiser got some love this tour, being a spotlight. 19 non-cities, pretty good. 5 cities. Sunny Surf Sailor got 13 non-cities. I got 2 buffs, 13 non-cities, and 5 cities. And the Blue Turbo Yoshi has got a lot of city tracks, including one of the top shelf ranked this week, next week. But 7 non-cities and 5 cities. And then a whole plethora, I think 16 different cards got 1 buff all the way down. V-Dasher Mark II. 18 non-city with 3 city. Brown Off-Roader, 16 non with 1 city. Cat Cruiser, and by the way, the Brown Off-Roader is, I think, tied with the regular Off-Roader as the biggest hit box size in terms of cart rankings. So it's pretty big. Cat Cruiser, the OG Cat Cruiser, 14 non-city and 4 city. DK Maximum, 16 non-city and 6 city, and Inferno Flyer, which has been seeing a lot of buffs over the last few tours recently. 18 non-city with 4 cities on that. Iron Cucumber, which was recently added to the pipe as a regular high-end, 14 non-city with 9 cities. Lime Teacoop, 13 non-cities with 7 cities. Paintster, along with Luigi Painter, also getting some love, 15 non-cities, 6 cities. Purple Bunny is, as you can see, all the way up to number 3. Still holding strong there. 21 non-cities with 5 cities. Pink Dozer, 13 non-cities with 5 cities. Pirate Sushi Racer, which was a spotlight last tour, 15 non-city, 4 cities. Ramby Runner, again, the rich getting richer, as KG said in one of his videos, 21 non-city and with 2 cities. Rose Taxi, 18 non-city with 5 cities. White Turbo Yoshi, which was in a pack, as well as seeing some use this week. 17 non-city with 5 cities. Wild Pink, 16 non-cities with 5 cities, and finally a super cart to finish us off, Blue Royale with 9 non-cities and 2 cities. Anything stand out, Studfit?
Yeah, no, I think you did a really good job of highlighting those. I will say, I like to put bets on things, and then I sometimes wonder if I shouldn't, because by putting out in the universe, maybe who knows who's watching. They seem to like take whatever I say and do the exact opposite. So I almost hesitate to say this, but I put all my chips in this Dark Hop Rod. I feel like maybe I should, as I start to make these bets, give some level of confidence, like on a 1 to 10 scale. I think this Dark Hop Rod, I feel like it's going to be a top 5 cart with, to me it seems like a 90%, a 9 on that 10-point scale of confidence there. But I think the Silver King, right there at 9 on that on that confidence scale as well. That Silver King just looks awesome. It looks like they're giving it already some good love. Kamek Zoom Broom, I'd probably put 8%, 8 on that 10-point scale confidence of it hitting our top 5, just because of its uniqueness and ties to Kamek. They even have that owned by Kamek's adjective there, whatever you want to call it. I mean, ultimately, like it could be very, very valuable. We'll have to see how that turns out. But I just think that those really stand out to me as like they're continuing to see love. I mean, we've seen this Dark Hop Rod pop on this list almost every tour, and so it's been really, really cool to see that happen. The other aspect of it, you see some of these top carts that have been getting these extreme buffs, extreme value. This Purple Bunny, Rumby Runner, etc. Yes, it's the rich getting richer for sure. Aside of that, though, I think there's some interesting stuff. This Brown Off-Roader, I had to put a darn ticket into it. It was in ranked. It's literally my only cart for that track. It's interesting that we saw it again. I do think that they like to buff unique things during city tours, almost like we gave you a little fun buff, but let's do a city so you don't care. But we're just kind of skewing the data. I don't know. To me, it's really interesting that they put that kind of cart in there. They might do something with the Carp Cart here in the near future, but ultimately, I think from this perspective, we have the same carts popping in, just like how we saw the same drivers for the last couple tours. And but I do feel the Silver King and the Dark Hop Rod are going to be pretty baller carts here in the near future. Going into got buffed for the gliders, and then we'll have to probably try to catch up based on time. But we have the Dream Glider. Look at this. 4 buffs, none of which are cities. Holy moly. I think all 3 of these Kamek items are going to be strongly valuable. Up to 12 tracks already, 0 cities as I just mentioned. 2 gliders with 3 buffs. Obviously this weird looking ribbon. Yukata ribbon, and then the gold home field glider with 13 non-city tracks, 7 cities, and then a number, I think, looks like 6 gliders there with 2 buffs. This 8-bit bullet bill with obviously 24 non-city tracks, only 1 city, guys. How crazy is that? I know many of you have seen that although it's number 4 on our list, it does have some overlap with the Black Rate Sale. But with 1 city, that's 24 tracks that you're going to have rotating around. I still think, for me, I just double uncapped it, even though I have the Black Rate Sale triple uncapped. But for me, it's like I'd rather just have those tracks with that buff. To me, it's a beautiful glider. I mentioned I really like that more than the other 8-bit stuff when it first came out. You see the Flying Easel with 15 non-city tracks, 7 cities. The home field glider, the non-gold version, 11 non-cities, 7 cities there. Springtime Crane, 13 non-city tracks, 5 cities. The Sunny Surf Master. Again, I don't know what they're going to do with these Surf Masters. They have to give one of them some pretty strong value. Hopefully it'll be the silver one. 14 non-city, though, for this Sunny version, 4 cities. And then the Glinting Glider, 17 non-city tracks, 5 cities, decent there. As for the gliders with 1 buff, you saw the Manta Glider, 20 non-city tracks, 3 cities. You see the 8-bit Fireflower at 22 non-city tracks and 6 cities, making it our number 2 glider. No surprise there. I think it was last tour, and it's held down the spot. Polka Dot Manta Glider, a beautiful glider, 14 non-city tracks, 5 cities. Starry Great Sale, man, 19 non-city tracks, 6 cities, and then the rich keep on getting richer. You have this Black Great Sale with 25 non-city tracks, 3 cities, number 1 glider in the game. You have the Catco Parafoil, seen better days, it was in the top 10 prior, and then quickly catapulted to the bottom of our top 15 at number 15 with 20 non-city tracks, 5 cities. The Chocolate Banana Crepe with 18 non-city tracks, looks like 3 cities there. The Glitter Glider, 13 non-city tracks, 5 cities. These ribbons look so dumb. I'm so sorry. It is probably my least favorite looking glider. Um, Spider Glider at 19 non-city tracks, 2 cities at number 11 on our list. And then Black Toe Beans Balloons. As you know, Nintendo loves black. So 20 non-city tracks, 4 cities, and number 5 on our list, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Surfmaster at with 19 non-city tracks, 4 city tracks, and then the Sunset Balloons, a beautiful glider, 21 non-city tracks, 2 cities. Tabor, what are your thoughts on these gliders that got buffed?
Yeah, so I think we need to continue to keep our eye on that Dream Glider. I think it's going to be it's off to a good start. We'll just say that.
Really good start.
We'll see what happens from here on out. But I mean, it's survived this whole tour with no cities being added to it, and yeah, they seem to show some love with Comex items right now. So we'll just have to see what's happening. But that gold home field glider, I know a lot of people have been looking at that. That was one of the spotlights in a special pipe when it came out. So some people are wondering what that's going to happen. It's got 7 cities though, so not too good there. The 8-bit items are really standing out to me here, especially the Bullet Bill and the Fire Flower. Both of them are continuing to be seen on this slide with getting buffs. So you know, and we've said it before many times, and maybe it won't happen if we continue to say it, but I think that there is some sort of 8-bit tour or 8-bit special pipe on the horizon coming out, because those are I think both of these right here are both pack locked. I don't think they've ever been available in a pipe yet, so
It's coming.
it'd be a great addition if they end up doing that. We'll get a lot of people to buy rubies to pull for those, I know that for sure. But anyway, some good items here all the way through.
Awesome, Tabor. You put together some additional data. Appreciate you doing that. But these are some buff streaks for the drivers, karts, and gliders. Tell us a little bit about what you found.
Yeah, so I decided to go ahead and highlight some of these. These are the ones that are currently active. These are the ones that have been buffed the most all the way up through this tour. So Birdo Black has been buffed 13 times, and actually Birdo Black has only been available in 13 tours since it was debuted. So in every single tour, it's gotten some sort of addition to its top shelf courses. Birdo Black has been buffed 13 tours in a row. Builder Toadette has been buffed 9 tours in a row. Mario Tuxedo 8. And Luigi Painter 7. A lot of those have been buffed since they debuted, especially Mario Tuxedo, Luigi Painter, and Birdo Black. I'm not sure about Builder Toadette, but obviously it's Nintendo is showing that all of them some love with getting extra value added on. So a few honorable mentions. They've had a gap in their streaks. Baby Mario Koala has been buffed 10 out of the last 11 tours, and White Yoshi's been buffed 12 out of the last 13. So again, all of these have been getting some good attention from Nintendo with added value all the way through. On carts, Lime Teacoop has been buffed 7 times in a row, and Paintster also 7. Black Turbo Birdo has been buffed 12 out of the last 13. It's no wonder it's our number 1 cart in the game, but it's been, again, continuing to get some extra attention. And then on the glider side, Starry Great Sail has been buffed 11 times in a row. 8-bit Bullet Bill, as what we had mentioned before, is continuing to get some attention with 10. Black Tobing Balloons, a lot of people fan favorite out there. 10 buffs in a row in terms of tours, and Glinting Glider has been buffed 8 times in a row. So these are the ones that are, again, currently active all the way up through Sydney Tour, and whether they continue to get love from here on out, well, it's yet to see, but these are the ones that have been really recognized lately.
Fantastic. So those were the items that got buffed consecutive tours. What about the other piece that you found, which were level 1 ranked streaks?
Yeah, so I didn't want to add in level 3 or level 6 because that's very conditional and situational according to whatever ones are available in in each tour. But the ones for level 1s, these are the ones that are, again, these are current active streaks that have shown up at least one time in a ranked course for that tour. Birdo Black, again, I've just talked about it with the buffs. It's also the same thing. It's actually been a ranked item at least once in every tour for the last 10 tours. Peach Halloween, every tour for the last 9. Peach Explorer, every tour for the last 8. And Cat Toad has been in 11 of the last 12 tours as a ranked item. So again, these are the ones that are just showing up recently, whether it's a repeat course or one of the new courses that are introduced. it's been on there. Pauline Rose was kind of the talk of the town for a long time. At one point, it had been, ever since it was introduced, it had been in ranked at least once, 15 tours in a row. We're talking like 30 weeks, over 6 months. However, the Sydney Tour, what we're in now, broke that streak. It is not available. Pauline Rose is not available in a ranked course for the first time in 30 weeks. So that has, not to say it's not valuable anymore, but it has broke that streak during this tour. For Kart's, Purple Bunny has been seen in ranked at least once, 11 tours in a row. We kind of been noticing that lately. Inferno Flyer, I mentioned before, has been 7. Lime Tea Coupe also 7, and Paintster 7. And finally, on gliders, Black Topian Balloons has been in a ranked course at least once, 10 tours in a row, Starry Great Sail 8, and Flying Easel 7. Again, these are all current active streaks at this point.
Good point there. I won't go into too much depth on this top 10 algorithm, but I will say I think we will be making some changes going into the anniversary tour, make it pretty clear cut right there at that anniversary point. Some of those to address some of the driver skill. Obviously, it is 25%. You saw a lot of Blackbirdo mentioned in some of the buffs, and she's been buffed. You just saw the stats there. She continues to see buffs every tour. She's continued to be in ranked every tour, and yet she's only number 14 on a list. And so I think part of that has to do with how bad her skill is and on that skill list. So I think we want to make some changes, maybe some tiers, so that whether you have Fireflower or let's say take any of those skills that we don't consider very good.
Bob-omb Cannon.
Bob-omb Cannon. I think that was the obvious one that I was going to say next. But I'm thinking about like the banana barrels. Starting to think about all these skills that are kind of lumped together. If they're not coin box, they're not boomerang. They're not giant banana. They're not lucky 7. It shouldn't matter. They're all kind of about the same. So I think having that Bob-omb Cannon so low is hurting her. And really, I mean, it's true. If I could use any skill except for Bob-omb Cannon, I'm probably going to use it, unless maybe multiplayer. So I think from that perspective, the tracks that she has, it's great that she has them and good for her. But as soon as any driver with a better skill comes on there, I'm going to be using that driver. So her value once Nintendo decides to stop buffing her, that'll be her peak, and she'll be basically being debuffed tour after tour. So anyway, but we do think that I think we talked about it on the last rundown. If you gave her a coin box, Blackbirdo coin box, she'd be the number 1 driver of the game. But the biggest fact about that is she doesn't have coin box, so she's not the number 1 driver in the game. But we do feel like it would make sense if she was in the top 10. We never played around with the algorithm to make something a certain way. But I think when we see these glaring changes that could be made to improve, we certainly take the liberty to do so. And that's because we respect the algorithm and respect how the community appreciates what we do, and we treat that with a lot of respect, and we never are flippant about these changes. So with all of that being said, the top 10 drivers, Tabor, you want to tell us about who is our top 10?
Yeah, without giving too much away, you're not going to see a lot of changes on these next couple slides with our top ones, and a lot of that is just simply because it is a city tour, and cities, although they are implemented into the algorithm, they are not implemented with a very high percentage, and so therefore there's not a lot of changes that can happen. Yes, items can still get buffed. Yes, they can still be used in ranked. But cities are kind of a whole different creature with them not being always available. So you're going to see a lot of kind of things that are status quo. One big change though that did happen is that we do have as Sammy D put it on the Discord server, we do have Return of the King. Return of the King did move back up to King Bob-omb, King Roberto did move back up to the number 1 driver. The biggest reason for this, and people are going to ask why, is they were really close. Over the last couple tours, and the reason that he edged out Shy Guy Ninja is because King Bob-omb Gold is used in ranked this tour, whereas Shy Guy Ninja was not buffed, and is not existent in any ranked course right now. So that's the biggest reason for the switch. But again, those two items are very close. It's just a matter of who's edging who at any given point. So King Bomb on Gold did take the lead. Shy Guy Ninja moved down to second. Nabbit still holding in third. Dry Bones Gold in fourth, and Pink Gold Peach in fifth. We did see a big surge for White Yoshi, and I think we can all agree that he has made his presence known very well in this tour. Moved up from number 17 to number 6. I believe it's the first time it's jumped into the top 15, let alone the top 10.
I think it was, by the way, I think it was in the top 10 2 tours ago. But, but it had fallen out. You're right.
Got it. Okay. Peach Explorer then had to make room for White Yoshi, so moved down 1 to 7. Lakitu Party Time also moved down 1 to 8. Luigi Lederhosen stayed steady at 9, and Luigi Painter did move up 6 spots, jumped into the top 15, top 10 in number 10. And then rounding out the top 15, Cat Toad actually did move up 11 spots from 22nd to 11th. And Mario Halloween did move down 4 spots out of the top 10. A lot of people have been kind of asking for that for a long time, because I know Mario Halloween's been kind of pretty rare in terms of buffs and uses. So it did move down. Algorithm made it move down to 12th place, 4 spots. Rosalina Swimwear moved down 2 spots to number 13. Birdo Black, though, a lot of people have been calling for it, calling from my head at the same time, because they did not see her in this top 15. It finally did make a move into 14th place, up 6 units to 14th. And finally, Peach Wedding to move down 3 spots to number 15, just barely holding on into that 15th spot.
Yeah, my last dream is that somehow Mario Tuxedo could see the same movement that Luigi Painter saw, and somehow jump up, barely into the top 10 next tour. We'll see if that happens. But thank you for going over that top 10 drivers there at Tabor. Same thing applies to the karts, guys. When you get the city tracks, not a lot of movement. So you see that the top 6 spots, no movement at all. That means the Black Turbo Birdo is still number 1, Romby Runner 2, Purple Bunny 3, despite all these nice buffs. In fact, all 3 of these top karts are in ranked. Black Turbo Birdo, Romby Runner, and Purple Bunny. So the Black Dozer still number 4, Off-Roader number 5, Crawley Kart number 6. We saw some movement, though. The movement came from Cactice up 3 spots. Beautiful hitbox on that. Wild Black, no stranger to this top 10, up number 3, back into the top 10 at number 8. You got the Sakura Quick Shot at number 9. And then Rose Queen, the one who dropped, went down 3 spots to number 10. You have Happy Ride at 11, Wild Pink at 12, Jade Hop Rod at 13, Cheap Snorkel at 14, and B-Dasher Mark II at 15. So there's rounds out our top 10 cards. Anything you want to say about this before you jump into the Gliders, Tabor?
Yeah, just one quick thing. I think this is the first time in a long time that Happy Ride has dropped out of the top 10. Happy Ride has been up there for a long, was the number 1 kart for the longest time as well. So it's starting to see kind of out with the old and in with the new. Saw some replacements, but Happy Ride it's had a good ride, but it's right now it's on its way down.
I like it. So talk to us a little bit about the Gliders.
Yeah, and then finally in Gliders, again, that whole top 5, no change. Again, not much going on here. Again, the Rich Get Richer Black Grade Sale, actually, I think it extended its lead a little bit because it got a buff and it's getting some use in ranked. Still the number 1 glider by far. 8-Bit Fireflower, really good glider here. Seeing a lot of value. Still number 2. Silver Manta Glider, number 3. 8-Bit Bullet Bill, number 4. And Black Toe Beam Balloons, number 5. Going with your theory, Studfit, 3 of those top 5 are all black in some way, shape, or form. So there might be some room for the black Cat Cruiser in the cart list, as well as some other items. So we'll just have to see. Starry Great Sale did move up 1 spot to number 6. Dry Bowser Umbrella also moved up 1 spot to number 7. Silver Starchute did move down one. Main reason is because Starry Great Sail got a buff, I believe, but also they're used in ranked. And where Silver Starchute did not is not seen in ranked, so it did move down 2 spots to number 8. Strawberry Donut moved up 1 to 9, and Sunset Balloons, the spotlight here in week 1, did move up 1 to 10. Rounding out the top 15, Spider Glider did move up 1 to 11th. Bright Balloons did drop out of the top 10 into 12th, moved down 3 spots. Dragon Wings held steady at 13. Gold Crane did move up 1 to 14, and Calico actually moved up 1 into the top 15 at number 15.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. You know, we've seen really kind of 3 dominating gliders during our period of time. I don't even know what it would have been before the Dragon Wings, but Dragon Wings was number 1 for a long period of time. Then all of a sudden, it kind of stopped. It was kind of, for whatever reason, the trend we see is some of these gliders, you know, their dominance just all of a sudden just, you know, gets cut off and relatively abruptly. And we've kind of seen the same thing happen with the Dry Browser Umbrella. Now, of course, yeah, it might be seen in ranked or whatever, but and we might get buffed maybe 1 extra time in a 6-month period. But it does seem like, you know, they keep buffing and keep buffing, then all of a sudden crickets. But because they buffed it so many times, it still lingers around. You know, still think we'll see the Dragon Wings, still see the Dry Bowser Umbrella, still see Black Rate Sail lingering around in our top 15 for next couple months. But I do wonder if this is the peak of the Black Rate Sail. Now, of course, it is so far ahead of everybody else. I see it still being number 1. But because it's in a pipe here, I think they're trying to make that pipe as glamorous as they possibly can, so people use the rubies. So I wonder if next tour we won't see a buff, or we won't see quite the hype and attention that we keep seeing over and over for this Black Rate Sail. I do, you know, wonder what will happen, if it will repeat kind of the same history as these 2 other dominating gliders here. But that's kind of my takeaway from the top 10 gliders. Moving into the top movers and shakers, I think a lot to take away from here. But Tabor, tell us a little bit about what stuck out to you.
Yeah, just some notable ones. I mean, we already talked about White Yoshi jumping up 11 spots from 17 to 6. Anytime something drops outside of the top 15 into the top 10 is pretty noticeable. It's a pretty big move. Cat Toad made a big move going to 11th from 22nd. After that, you know, not much might be happening. Luigi Painter's a big move. Birdo Black is a big move that a lot of people are welcome to see. Probably not high enough for a lot of people. They think Birdo Black is our Lord and Savior, but she's doing well, and she's moving up when she needs to be. On the carts, again, Silver King is that chosen one that did move up the most in terms of total spots from the 90s to the 70s, moved up 19 spots. We've been talking a lot about White Yoshi. What about White Turbo Yoshi? It is making some moves. It's still not close to the top 15 just yet, but it is progressing in the right direction and seeing some use and some validity there. After that, not much going on with the carts. Jet Cruiser did make a big move just outside of the top 15 from 24 to 16. And we'll just have to see what happens from here on out. I know a lot of people, one of the things that we talked about on Kart Life, I think we asked about which item, regardless of its value, would we like to see is a good looking item that we'd like to see get used a lot more. And I think Jeeves pointed out Jet Cruiser, how he really wanted it to be, it's a good looking cart, and it really wanted to show some more value than it is. So hopefully he's getting his wish, and we'll just have to see what happens after this. On the gliders, again, the most notable ones are the Glinting Glider moved from 38 to 27. That was a big jump that it had. Dream Glider did make a huge jump from the 80s to the 60s. Still has a long way to go, but as we mentioned before, it's on the right track. It right now is just so new that, you know, no new item is going to jump straight into the top 15. It's going to take some time, so we'll just have to see what happens with it. Daisy Glider did move up 7 spots from 31 to 24. We haven't really talked about Daisy Glider much. It's really not as useful as some of these other ones, but it did make a big move there. Other than that, just a few things here and there, but feel free to pause this video if you need to and take a look at this chart a little bit more.
Yeah, great point there. I will say the ones that I can see in the top 10, if I just had which ones will break the top 10 next out of those that are moving right now, and which ones will continue to move, I think Peach Happy, she's going to be probably the best lucky 7 driver in the game at some point in time. My guess would be around the anniversary. Pretty quick around the corner. I know 23 isn't too high, but I could see in the next 2 or 3 tours her jumping into the top 10. Again, there's not a lot of lucky 7 drivers except for Nabbit in that top 10. Of course, we have Painter Luigi hop in there, but I wonder if she'll be right there neck and neck with Nabbit here in about 2 or 3 tours. And the Silver King, you gotta love that. I could see that continuing to go up as well. And then the Dream Glider, like that to me, the fact that it got buffs and got 0 cities, I could see that glider going up. If you need to throw tickets on that, I think it's less risky than you might think. And I think really that's true of all of the Kamek items. As for the All Cup ranking MVPs, this is something that's really, really important to me as you're going into All Cup ranking. I discussed at the very beginning. I don't think this is a tour people are going to be taking a serious push into a top 10, top 100. So if you want to go for those badges, this might be a good tour for you if you happen to have the right inventory. But that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why people aren't going to be going for All Cup ranking this tour. One being they're burnt out, and 2, they may not have some of these items at a high level. Of course, you have these new items on the top between the Yoshi Kangaroo, the Black Cat Cruiser, and the ship's wheel, but they also have the Rose Taxi. So if you have Rose Taxi up high, it'll be an interesting one there for you to use. You have White Yoshi, double-decker bus, the green version, and then the Iron Cucumber Silver Surfmaster. So if you see everything on this top 2 with 10 or 11 tracks, I mean, other than White Yoshi, you probably don't have these at level 6 or higher for that matter. White Yoshi would be the only one really, realistically, unless you put your tickets all on something, that you would have at a high level. As for the items with 9 tracks, you start to see some of these common suspects here when you think about Birdo Black, Black Great Sale. Those are going to be extreme, King Bob-omb, Gold, Lakitu Party Time. These are ones that you probably have at 6, or if you don't, they're on your wish list. Probably Rose you might have at 6, but probably it's not because you pulled her a lot. It's because you put a lot of tickets in her. And then Kamek Zoom Room. So this is the tier. If you have these items that have 9 tracks, this could be your tour for going for top 100. Again, people are so burnt out from going so hard into the Kamek tour. They're not going to be they're not going to be jumping right into grinding again. The King Bob-omb Gold. This is as we've mentioned before. He's a great driver. In the ER server, we had just a brief discussion. I think Johnny was asking if he should put his tickets to take Yoshi Kangaroo to level 4 or King Bob-omb Gold to level 7. I think it's a no-brainer. You take King Bob-omb Gold to number 7. Just because you have 9 tracks with a level 7 coin box driver versus you could 11 tracks here. It was staged, but only at level 4 you probably have better stuff than a level 4 driver. And I just don't think you're gonna grind that boomerang quite as much as you are at coin box. But for what it's worth, decent tour for King Bob-omb Gold. As for the items with 8 tracks, this All Cup ranking, Cat Peach, Toad Peach, you already know the deal with them. They're there, and they're licking their paws there. Starry Great Sale, good to see that. Used frequently. It's an up and coming, really awesome glider. Rose Parasol, an interesting glider. We haven't seen as much action, but I think with Red Shell, it's a popular one. And then Kamek. So if you took Kamek to level 7, double uncap, triple uncap, thinking you Sammy, who knows? Maybe this is your tour. Luigi Painter with 7 as well, and Lederhosen with 7. Interesting that with that piece. And then Purple Bunny, Black Toad Moon Balloons. No surprise there. Both are very valuable alongside the Black Turbo Birdo. You got Pink, Wild Pink, and the Bright Balloons also with 7 tracks for All Cup ranking. So if you are going for that badge that might be a little bit lower bar to try to get, if you have these items, it might be time to zig while everyone else is zagging. All right, Tabor, tell us a little bit about the multi-use ranked items.
I know I say this each time, but I never know if new viewers are watching. So again, this stat is just something I put together to help me as I've got limited tickets of where I want to spend it, more bang for the buck. If you can find an item that will serve you in more than one ranked course, it's going to be putting tickets on that item will serve you, in more value than if you were to put tickets here and then tickets here and then tickets here. So not too exciting. A few things though of note. Obviously, Yoshi Kangaroo is used 3 times of the 6 ranked courses, but again, that makes sense. The newer item is always going to get coverage of what's currently happening. So Yoshi Kangaroo is all level 1 3 times, and White Yoshi, one of the ones we've talked about a lot in this video, is used twice in level 1 and once in level 3, so also 3 times. You also have Cat Toad, Peachette, and Builder Toad. Peachette's not somebody that we usually typically talk about on here. Those are used twice in out of the 6 ranked courses. On carts, White Turbo Yoshi is used 3 times, all level 1. So again, half of the ranked courses, if you've got White Turbo Yoshi, you're debating whether to put tickets on it or have already put tickets on it, it's going to serve you well. Green Double Decker is used 3 times as well, twice as a level 1, once as a level 6. And Black Cat Cruiser is used 3 times, once as a level 1, once as a level 3, and once as a level 6. So it's really only going to help you 3 times if you've got it all the way at level 6. And then we've got a handful of other ones that are at 2. You're welcome to read through those. And then on gliders, Ship's Wheel is actually going to serve you 4 different times if you have it at level 6. Twice as level 1, once as level 3, and once as level 6. Now, that's to say that you are patient enough to wait until the special pipe, pull it as a spotlight, immediately take it up to, well, you're going to have it in 2 places right away, but if you take it up to level 6, it will serve you 4 different times. So it would, it's a decent investment, but it's a little risky with as early as it is about whether it's going to be, whether those tickets are going to serve you well. Silver Surfmaster, another new one, is used 3 times in ranked. Silver Manta Glider is used twice, and Wicked Wings, again, something we don't typically talk about on here, is also used twice in all the different ranked courses this tour.
Yeah, I will say that oftentimes when we have a glider, cart, or a new driver in a special pipe as like a spotlighted item, traditionally we've seen that item be very, very valuable. I would say I have a level 8 confidence that Ship's Wheel will be a top 10 glider. So it is definitely one you're going to want to get. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear save, save, save. But I do believe this glider is not going to be one you want to miss out on. That is for sure. And then I think the other aspect of, it's worth bringing up here is just about ranked in general. We saw, maybe a month or 2 ago, we were seeing all bots. I mean, I literally had every one of my competitors be a bot. And we saw last tour, crazy ranked. We saw, Carlos ended up pulling out a win. He was wondering if he was going to tear down because of his competitors. We saw, I lost I got second place in a ranked. I know even Gamer Amy, one of the very, very famous drivers in the game, she got second place in her ranked, and that's because we're going up against triple uncapped Kamek and triple uncapped Kamek Zoom Broom, and like we were going up against top 10 players, and even top 10 players were losing to top 10 players. It was the most insane ranked I'd ever seen. And then we go back to normal. It does seem like although we don't see as many bots, at least I'm not. It's not crazy one way or the other. Neither extreme. It almost seems like they went back to some normal. We weren't sure how things were going to continue. Makes me wonder if tier 80 is still coming in the next couple tours. But for what it's worth, ranked items, ranked might be back to normal. Take this for what it's worth. As for the ranked tracks that are locked, it's important to know this. The Black Cat Cruiser, if you pull that somehow as a non-spotlight item in this week 1 pipe, and then you put a lot of tickets on it, I mean, it would be a smart move because I do feel like it'll be a great, great cart, but I doubt you have that option. That's really your only level 6, level 3 item that is going to get unlocked for Sydney Sprint 2. As for Yoshi Circuit T, man, if you open this up, you have so many options. You have items being unlocked at level 3, level 6 for drivers, carts, and gliders. The ones that stand out to me, I think out of any of these, might be the Kabuki Dasher at level 3. That's a decent one. A lot of people might have the B Dasher at level 6. But Purple Bunny at 6, if you have been debating on holding back tickets or taking it to 6 finally, this might be the time to do it. And now there are a lot of options on this track, so I probably wouldn't do it just for this track. But if you've been waiting, this might be a good time. And then Ship's Wheel, the new glider there, could open it up at 6. Doubt you have that option, but as Tabor alluded to, it does have a lot of track and ranked this tour. Sydney Sprint 2T, you have the green double-decker bus at level 6, and then the Ship's Wheel level 3. No unlocked items for Sydney Sprint 2R. And again, as Tabor alluded to, we have a lot of Sydney tracks in ranked. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 are Sydney Sprint 2 variations. All 3 variations. Very interesting to see it that way. The second non-Sydney track, it would be Waluigi Pinball T. A fun track, a track you're very familiar with. King Bob-omb Gold. That's the one you're going to be using at level 3 by far. There's no doubt about that. And then as we look at the carts, nothing really stands out too much. You might have the green circuit close there at level 6. It might be the one you're using. And then Sydney Sprint 2 RT, you have the Silver Surf Master at level 6. So there you go, guys. There are the ranked tracks unlocked for all the ranked tracks. Anything you want to add there, Tabor, before we wrap up?
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me is on regular Yoshi Circuit T, I actually have Peachette at level 6, single capped, and I'm not using her. I'm actually using regular Yoshi, Super Yoshi, and Super Yoshi's at level 7, triple capped. So regular Yoshi's level 7, and I think he's sitting at 975, where Peachette is level 6 at 980. And with the level 7, I feel like that's going to be a little bit better. Plus, I like using the Yoshi better as a skill than Mushroom Cannon. So I mean that's a big takeaway. So I'm actually opting for a super driver over a high end where they're pretty comparable.
No, I think that's a smart move, Tabor. I mean, I would do the same thing in your situation. I'm just glad I get to finally use Party Time Like It 2 again. It's so much fun using them. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, and that kind of speaks to our skills that we've been talking about too. That Mushroom Cannon is just so dumb. Kind of the same way as the Bob-omb Cannon. Like when you have these skills, Dash Ring looks attractive. Yoshi's Egg looks attractive. Just about anything looks more attractive than using some of these cannon skills. So, I can't blame you on that. It's probably a smart move. Well, Tabor, we did it. We got through the entire Sydney Sprint video. Appreciate everyone's patience. I know that the video, our audio and visual is probably not going to be matching up. I just know that due to this hotel Wi-Fi, but I wanted to get this video out to you guys, and thank you so much for watching. We're at about an hour and 40 minutes in, and appreciate your enjoyment of this series. If you would like to get involved and you'd like to be on our next episode of Car Talk, definitely check out our memberships. But as always, please just take 1-2 seconds, like it. You probably already subscribed, but there's still a lot of people who watch this and are not subscribed. So definitely do that if you haven't already. But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you enjoying this episode Down Under, and I wish you the best in this gobbles of city tracks. It's an interesting tour. We'll see what happens as we approach the anniversary. Tabor, anything you want to say as your last parting words?
No, I want to mirror what you said. Please make sure you like and subscribe this video. Studfit's always looking for not only new subscribers, but also new members, as you had showed up earlier in this video about all the people that makes this possible. So just thank you for all, and all of you are welcome to get on Discord and join some random there's all kinds of Mario Kart servers on there, and if you choose to be if you choose to come and take it to the next level, you can also inquire about joining Studfit's Discord channel as well. So a lot of great things, a lot of great talk and discussion on there. And yeah, we're all about this game. So if you want to take it to that next level and kind of get some meta analysis and kind of be right there in that live discussion about the things that we've talked about today, feel free to join. And but yeah, give him a like, give him a subscribe. He's always looking for new people to contribute to his channel. So thanks again for joining us, everybody. This was the Sydney tour, and we really appreciate you guys making it all the way through the 100 minutes that we're recording.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Also, one last shout out to Marco. He's been helping us out with these presentations, and he's doing some academics, and so he's running out of time, but he's still able to help us put this together. Huge shout out to him, and we're so happy to help him. But thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your tour down under, and we'll see you next tour. May the friends of you luck be with you.